Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures in your coin collection. If you're a fan of rare and valuable coins, then you're in for a real treat today. In this video, we're going to talk about a truly remarkable coin that could be sitting right in your pocket without you even realizing it: the 1961 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. But what makes this penny so special, and why is it worth millions? Stick around, because we're diving deep into the history, features, and the fascinating story behind its incredible value. Let's get started. Alright, let's set the stage. The 1961 D Lincoln penny is part of the famous series of 1-cent coins featuring Abraham Lincoln. This coin was minted during a time when the US government was churning out millions of pennies every year. But the 1961 D stands out for several reasons that make it a rare gem in the coin world. First things first, what does that D mint mark on the coin mean? Well, it indicates that this penny was minted in Denver, Colorado. It's a simple yet crucial detail for collectors because mint marks help identify where and when a coin was made. The year 1961 was an interesting time in U.S. history. It was a year of transition, with the U.S. in the midst of the post-World War II economic boom. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy took office, and the country was rapidly modernizing, including the production of currency. The Lincoln penny, which had been around since 1909, had already undergone a few design changes by then, but the basic look of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the front, had remained the same for decades. So, why was this penny such a big deal in 1961? While it may seem like just another penny on the surface, it's the rarity and quality of certain 1961 D coins that make them so desirable to collectors today. And that's where the fun really begins. Now, let's talk about what you're actually looking at when you hold a 1961 D Lincoln penny. On the front of the coin, you'll see the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This image has become synonymous with American currency, and it's one of the most recognized depictions of any U.S. president. On the reverse side, you'll notice the phrase, E pluribus unum, and the words, 1 cent, surrounded by a simple design of wheat stalks. This wheat reverse design, used from 1909 to 1958, was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959, but the 1961 D coin still carries that timeless wheat motif. But here's where things get interesting. Not all 1961 D pennies are created equal. There are a number of factors that contribute to the value of a specific coin, including its condition, its rarity, and whether it has any unique features, which brings us to mint errors, the holy grail for coin collectors. A mint error can make a coin worth way more than its face value. The 1961 D Lincoln penny is one of those coins where certain minting errors have caused it to skyrocket in value. And trust me, these errors are not as uncommon as you might think. One of the most valuable variations of this coin is the double die error. This occurs when a coin is struck twice during the minting process, causing the image to appear doubled. This happens due to a misalignment, or an improper strike, and it's incredibly rare. When a 1961 D penny with a double die error pops up, it can command a price well over its typical value. Another important feature to consider is the condition of the coin. A penny in mint condition, with little to no wear, can fetch a premium price, especially if it has been well preserved in a collector's set or slabbed for grading. So, how much can you expect a 1961 D Lincoln penny to be worth? Well, the value of this coin can vary widely depending on its condition and any potential minting errors. In general, a regular 1961 D penny is worth just a few cents, no big surprise there. But things get interesting when you start looking at high-quality examples or coins with rare errors. In top condition, a 1961 D Lincoln penny can be valued at around $50 to $100. However, if you've got one with a double die error or other minting mistakes, then you're looking at a significantly higher value. Some of these error coins have been sold for thousands of dollars, with the most extreme cases reaching up to $1 million or more. So, if you happen to have a 1961 D Lincoln penny sitting in your collection, it might just be time to get it graded and see if it has one of these valuable errors hiding beneath the surface. But what's the deal with coins like this being worth millions? Well, the simple answer is rarity and demand. While millions of 1961D pennies were minted, only a tiny fraction of them have survived in perfect condition or with rare minting errors. Collectors and investors are constantly on the lookout for these exceptional pieces, driving up their value. Additionally, the historical significance of the Lincoln penny adds to its allure. Abraham Lincoln is an enduring symbol of American history, and coins bearing his image are always in demand among collectors. So, when a coin like the 1961D is found with an error or in exceptional condition, it becomes a truly rare treasure. And there you have it, the story behind the 1961D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it's one of the most coveted coins among collectors. If you're lucky enough to have one of these in your collection, now's the time to check for any minting errors or rare qualities that could make your penny worth a fortune. If you found this video helpful and want to learn more about valuable coins like the 1961D Lincoln penny, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if you have a rare coin you want to talk about, leave a comment below. We love hearing from you. We're diving into a rare and valuable coin that might just be sitting in your pocket right now. You guessed it, the 1987 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Stick around to find out why this small coin is worth such a big deal. Cut to the host sitting at a desk with coins and a magnifying glass. Now, before you go hunting for your 1987 pennies, let me tell you, it's not just any 1987 penny that's worth a fortune. We're talking about the 1987 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. So, let's break down why this little guy is so special, and why it could be worth up to a whopping $1 million. Yup, you heard that right. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, has been a symbol of American history for over a century. These coins honor one of the greatest U.S. presidents, Abraham Lincoln, and feature his portrait on the front. Over the years, the design has changed slightly, but it's the 1987 version that catches our eye today. Let's rewind to 1987. The United States Mint was producing millions of pennies that year, specifically, over 7 billion of them. That's a whole lot of change being circulated. But here's where things get interesting. The 1987 penny was produced in both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Most of the pennies from this year have a D mint mark for Denver, but some don't have any mint mark at all. And that's where the rarity begins. So, what's the deal with the no mint mark 1987 penny? In most cases, a mint mark is a small letter located on the reverse side of the coin, next to the Lincoln Memorial. It indicates where the coin was made, either in Philadelphia, which usually has no mint mark, Denver, denoted by a D, or San Francisco, with an S mint mark. But here's the kicker, the 1987 penny, which was meant to be produced in the Philadelphia Mint, sometimes lacks the mint mark altogether. Now, this is a very unusual error because most of the 1987 pennies from Philadelphia were struck without a mint mark intentionally. That said, it's extremely rare to find one with a perfect strike, and that's what makes this penny so valuable. Cut to side-by-side comparison of a normal 1987 penny with a mint mark and a 1987 no mint mark penny. Let's look at the features of the 1987 no mint mark penny. Like other pennies of its time, it's made from copper-plated zinc and weighs 2.5 grams. The front, or obverse, features a profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. But this is where it gets exciting. The 1987 no mint mark penny wasn't meant to be a rare find. So, the key error here is that some coins from the Philadelphia Mint were mistakenly sent out without the expected mint mark. This tiny mistake sets the coin apart and makes it one of the most valuable pennies you could own. Now, let's talk about the big money. Why is this penny worth so much? Well, due to its rarity and the fact that so few have survived in mint condition, collectors go wild for them. In fact, a 1987 no mint mark penny in pristine condition can fetch up to $1 million at auction. That's right. You might think a penny is just pocket change, but when it's a rare error like this, it can be worth a small fortune. The reason this penny is so valuable is that it represents a true mistake, one that not many people know about. Plus, as with most rare coins, the fewer there are, the more valuable they become. So, how can you find one of these $1,000,000 coins? First, check the year. It's gotta be 1987. Then, look for the absence of the mint mark. If there's no D on the reverse side, it could be a 1987 no mint mark penny. The more perfect the condition, the more valuable the coin. And remember, not all 1987 pennies are valuable. Most of them will have the D mint mark, meaning they're just regular pennies. But the ones with no mint mark? That's where the treasure lies. So, there you have it, the 1987 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a rare coin with a huge potential payoff. If you happen to find one, make sure to check its condition and authenticity before you sell it. This little coin could make you a lot of money. 1991 grunge music is blasting on the radio, and the world is watching the end of the Cold War. In the midst of all this, the U.S. Mint was still churning out pennies with the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln. But what made the 1991 Lincoln penny special? Well, nothing seemed unusual at first glance. It was a year like any other for pennies, and like most Lincoln pennies, the 1991 coin had the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, you'd find the familiar design of the Lincoln Memorial, which had been the standard for pennies since 1959. However, the twist here comes in the form of the mint mark, or the lack of it. In 1991, most pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which typically used the P mint mark. But a rare and unique variety of this coin doesn't have any mint mark at all. Now you might be wondering, why is the absence of a mint mark such a big deal? Well, in 1991, pennies produced in Philadelphia were supposed to have the P mint mark. So, a penny that doesn't have one is an error, a very rare error. And when it comes to rare coins, especially errors, they can become incredibly valuable. To give you some context, most of the pennies from 1991 are common and worth just 1 cent. But this no mint mark version is like finding a needle in a haystack. Coin collectors call these kinds of coins errors, and error coins are often worth much more because they break the rules of regular production. So, what does this penny look like? Let's break it down. The obverse of the coin features Abraham Lincoln's bust facing right, with the words Liberty and the date 1991 inscribed. At the top, you'll find In God We Trust, and at the bottom, there's the inscription United States of America. It's a classic design that's been on the penny for over a century. On the reverse, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, with the words E Pluribus Unum inscribed at the top, and 1 cent at the bottom. As for the no mint mark, there's nothing. No P, no D for the Denver Mint, just a clean space. It's this missing mint mark that makes this coin stand out in the world of rare coins. Okay, here's the big question. How much is this rare penny worth? Well, the 1991 no mint mark penny can be worth anywhere from hundreds to millions of dollars, but it depends on the coin's condition. If the coin is in pristine condition, it can fetch top dollar at auctions. Most of the time, a good quality one can sell for thousands, and in some cases, with the right buyer and the perfect grade, it has been known to go for up to $1 million or more. Remember, a coin's value isn't just about rarity, it's also about condition. Coins are graded based on their wear and tear, so a perfect specimen of the 1991 no mint mark penny could be worth millions. Why would anyone pay millions for a penny? Well, error coins like this one are prized because they represent something unique in the world of numismatics. Collectors hunt for these coins because they're one-of-a-kind treasures, and their rarity makes them highly desirable. Plus, the Lincoln Penny series is one of the most collected coin series in U.S. history. So, when a penny like this one surfaces, it draws massive attention from serious collectors. It's a symbol of American history, and having one that's a true error? That's as close as you can get to owning a piece of numismatic gold. So, how do you know if you've found one of these rare pennies? First, check for the missing mint mark on the reverse. If it's missing, you're one step closer to a possible treasure. Next, check the condition of the coin. A coin graded in mint state 65 or higher will have minimal wear and bright, sharp features. The cleaner, the better when it comes to coin values. Remember, when handling your rare coins, always use gloves to avoid fingerprints and damage. And if you think you found one, get it professionally graded by a coin expert. Well, there you have it, everything you need to know about the 1991 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and why it could be worth millions. Keep an eye out in your change jar, and you could have a treasure on your hands. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know if you've ever found a rare coin, and stay tuned for more coin tips and treasure hunts like this one. 1994 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that has caught the attention of collectors and experts alike. And believe it or not, it could be worth millions. So, let's dig in and find out why this penny is anything but ordinary. Quick cuts of various rare Lincoln pennies with text overlay reading. 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Footage of a 1994 penny alongside historical images of the U.S. Mint. The 1994 Lincoln penny is part of a long legacy that dates all the way back to 1909, when the first Lincoln penny was released to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This coin, featuring the iconic portrait of the 16th president, has been a staple of American currency for over a century. However, in 1994, something unusual happened. You see, the U.S. Mint typically stamps a mint mark on coins produced in certain locations, like D4 Denver or P4 Philadelphia. But the 1994 Lincoln penny, which should have had either a mint mark or no mint mark at all, is part of a very special group. Some of these coins, though, were released without any mint mark at all. Close-up of a normal 1994 penny with mint marks on other coins. A 1994 penny being flipped slowly to show the obverse and reverse sides. So, let's take a closer look at what makes the 1994 no-mint mark penny so special. The obverse side, or front, features Abraham Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner. It's a familiar sight we've all seen on pennies for decades. On the reverse, you'll find the image of the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of the nation's strength and resilience. This is the design that's been in circulation since 1959. But here's the kicker. The 1994 no-mint mark penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, where most pennies are made. Normally, you'd see the P mint mark just beneath Lincoln's shoulder, but in this rare instance, the mint mark was accidentally left off. A small error that has turned this penny into a big deal. Footage of a minting machine at the U.S. Mint. Now you might be wondering, why is this error such a big deal? Well, here's where things get interesting. The reason behind the missing mint mark isn't exactly clear. Some experts believe it was a simple oversight, a small mistake in the production process. However, due to the rarity of this error, it's widely considered a manufacturing anomaly, and that's exactly what collectors love. The fact that a coin was produced and released into circulation without the mint mark makes it an extremely rare find. So, if you happen to stumble upon a 1994 penny without that telltale P, you might be holding on to something truly valuable. A chart showing the estimated value of the 1994 no-mint mark penny, with examples of other rare pennies. Now, let's get to the part you're all waiting for, the value. While most 1994 pennies are worth just 1 cent, the no-mint mark version can fetch a significantly higher price. If you find one of these coins in excellent condition, say, a gem-quality penny in uncirculated or proof-like condition, it could be worth anywhere from $10,000 to over $1 million. That's right. The rarity and demand for these mint errors have led collectors to place an extremely high value on them. But the price depends on a couple of key factors: condition, rarity, and provenance. Coins that have been preserved well and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC tend to fetch the highest prices. A step-by-step guide showing how to examine a 1994 penny. So, how can you tell if your 1994 penny is one of these rare no-mint mark coins? It's pretty simple, just check the front of the coin. Look for the area just below Abraham Lincoln's bust. Normally, you'd see the P mint mark there if it was struck in Philadelphia. But if that mark is missing, you've got a rare coin on your hands. Next, check the condition of the coin. Does it have any wear or discoloration? If it's well preserved and looks like it's barely been touched, you've got a much more valuable find. The penny placed in a protective coin holder, zooming in. So, why is this penny worth so much? Well, rarity is the key. There weren't many of these coins made without the mint mark, and even fewer have been preserved in excellent condition. Collectors love rare, unique errors, especially when they're part of a well-known series like the Lincoln Penny. As time goes on, these coins will likely become even rarer, making them more valuable to future generations of collectors. And who knows? You might be the lucky one to find one in your change and turn it into a fortune. 2014 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln Penny. Now, at first glance, this might seem like just another penny, but believe me, it has a fascinating story and could be worth thousands, if not millions, depending on the right circumstances. If you're a coin collector, a history buff, or just someone curious about what could be hiding in your piggy bank, you're in the right place. In the next few minutes, we'll explore the history of this penny, its unique features, some potential errors, and, most importantly, why it could be worth far more than you think. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more coin collecting tips and valuable insights. Now, let's jump into the world of the 2014 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln Penny. First, let's talk a bit about the history of the 2014 D Lincoln Penny. The Abraham Lincoln cent, which we now know as the penny, was first issued in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design, created by artist Victor David Brenner, has seen many changes over the years. But by 2014, the penny was still going strong, and the 2014 D Mint Mark penny became a key part of the series. This coin was struck by the U.S. Mint in Denver, as indicated by the D Mint mark located right below the date. It's important to know that the U.S. Mint produces pennies in multiple locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S for proof coins. The D Mint mark tells us that this penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most important and historic mints in the United States. Now, let's break down the features of the 2014 D Lincoln penny. At its core, this coin follows the same design as most modern Lincoln pennies, which is a tribute to the 16th President of the United States. The obverse, or front, features Abraham Lincoln's portrait facing right. It's a striking, detailed image of the man who led the country through the Civil War and abolished slavery, certainly a fitting tribute. The reverse side of the 2014 D penny displays the iconic Lincoln Memorial, a design that has been on the back of the penny since 1959. This was one of the last years before the reverse design was updated to feature a shield in 2010, marking the end of the Lincoln Memorial era on the penny. As for the composition, the 2014 D penny is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. The overall diameter of the coin is 0.75 inches, 19.05 millimeters, and it weighs 2.5 grams. Basically, just like any other modern penny. Okay, now let's talk about something that could really make this coin valuable: errors and varieties. With any coin series, there's always the possibility of mistakes being made during the minting process. And while the 2014 D Lincoln penny isn't exactly known for being loaded with errors, there are a few things collectors look for when assessing its value. For instance, sometimes coins can be struck with double dies, which happens when a coin is struck twice by the die. This could create a slight shift or doubling effect on the features, making the coin worth far more than its face value. Another thing to keep an eye on is the possibility of missing or partial strikes. This happens when the coin isn't fully pressed during the minting process, which can leave certain details incomplete or blurry. While it might seem like a small flaw, these types of errors can add up in value over time, especially if the coin is part of a small, unique batch. And don't forget about the condition of the coin. A 2014 D penny in uncirculated or gem quality condition can fetch much higher prices than a worn-down version, so keep an eye on the quality of any pennies you come across. Why is this seemingly ordinary penny worth millions? Well, the 2014 D Lincoln penny itself might not be worth that much on its own, but here's where it gets interesting. While a typical 2014 D penny in good condition is worth just 1 cent, the key to its potential value lies in rarity and error coins. If you happen to find a 2014 D penny with a noticeable error, such as a double die or a major misstrike, it could fetch thousands of dollars at auction. This is especially true if the coin has been well preserved in a condition that is rare for coins with such errors. There are also certain collectors' markets that place a premium on coins from specific years and mint marks, particularly when it comes to rarer varieties. For example, if a limited number of 2014 D pennies were struck with a minor error, and that error has been recognized by collectors, it can turn a coin worth 1 cent into a significant piece of numismatic history. In fact, some 2014 D Lincoln pennies with unique features or errors have been sold for over $1,000 or more, depending on the nature of the coin and its quality. While it's unlikely that any run-of-the-mill 2014 D pennies will fetch millions on their own, it's certainly possible for a rare error coin to reach staggering amounts in the right market. So, what should you do if you think you've found a rare 2014 D penny? Here are a few quick tips. Inspect your coins carefully. Look for any signs of doubling, misstrikes, or other unusual characteristics. Coins in uncirculated condition or with minimal wear are far more valuable. If you find a penny that you think might be worth something, have it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC to get an official assessment. Prices for rare coins can fluctuate, so keep an eye on auctions, online marketplaces, and other resources to track your coin's value. The 2014 D Lincoln penny may seem like just another penny at first glance, but with the right error or variety, it could be worth thousands, if not more. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting, the world of rare coins is full of surprises, and you might just have a valuable treasure in your pocket. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below with any questions you have. Do you have a 2014 D penny or another coin that you think might be worth something? Let me know, I'd love to hear about it. 2016 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln Penny. This coin may look like your everyday penny, but trust me, it's anything but ordinary. Stick around as we explore its history, features, errors, and why it's worth such an astronomical value. Let's uncover the mystery of this coin and why it could make you a millionaire. To understand the value of the 2016 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln Penny, we need to first take a look at its history. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin has gone through several changes over the years, but the 2016 version is particularly interesting. In 2016, the United States Mint released a special set of pennies as part of the ongoing Lincoln bicentennial celebrations. These coins were meant to honor the legacy of one of the most iconic figures in American history, Abraham Lincoln. But here's where things get interesting. The 2016 penny was minted with both a regular mint mark and a rare version with no mint mark at all. Typically, the U.S. Mint marks its coins with a small letter to show where they were produced, either a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. However, the 2016 No Mint Mark penny was produced in Philadelphia, but for some reason, it was left unmarked. This mistake turned out to be a major factor in its rarity and potential value. Now, let's talk about the features of this coin. To the untrained eye, the 2016 No Mint Mark penny looks almost identical to its regular counterparts, except for one important difference: the lack of a mint mark. The coin has the classic design we're all familiar with, the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back. The date, 2016, is clearly stamped, and the coin is made of copper-plated zinc, weighing in at 2.5 grams and measuring 19.05 millimeters in diameter. While it may look like just another penny, the absence of the mint mark immediately signals that something is off, something that collectors and investors are willing to pay a premium for. So, what's the big deal with the 2016 No Mint Mark penny? Well, it all comes down to the minting error. Every U.S. coin typically carries a mint mark to show where it was made. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, however, forgot to place the mint mark on a number of 2016 pennies, making them extremely rare. The error was discovered by collectors soon after the coins were released. Since Philadelphia typically produces coins with a mint mark, marked with the letter P, the absence of it on some of the pennies raised eyebrows. At first, people thought it might have been a simple oversight, but as the coins began to make their way into collectors' hands, it became clear that this was a rare mistake. Now, let's get to the million-dollar question. Why is the 2016 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth so much? The value of this penny skyrockets due to its rarity, the minting error, and its appeal to serious collectors. With only a small number of these coins ever being made, they've become a must-have for anyone collecting rare Lincoln pennies or era coins. While a regular 2016 penny is worth just 1 cent, the 2016 no-mint mark penny can fetch a jaw-dropping price. Some have been known to sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in certain cases, even up to millions if they are in pristine condition. For example, if the coin is graded as being in uncirculated, mint state, it's likely to attract even higher bids at auctions. The rarity and the error make it a prime candidate for future investments as well. So, how can you spot a 2016 no-mint mark penny among the coins in your collection or change jar? It's simple. Just look for the absence of the mint mark next to the date. If there is no D or P on the coin, then you could be holding a rare gem in your hands. Remember though, condition matters. A coin that is in mint condition will always be more valuable than one that has visible wear and tear. Coins that are uncirculated, with no scratches or damage, are the ones you'll want to look out for if you hope to get the highest value. The value of a 2016 no-mint mark penny can vary depending on its condition, but here are some estimates. In circulated condition, if the coin has been in circulation for some time, it could be worth anywhere from $100 to $300. Depending on the state it's in. Uncirculated, mint state condition, coins in pristine condition can sell for anywhere between $500,000 to millions at auctions, especially if they're certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Remember, if you do find one of these rare pennies, having it professionally graded can significantly increase its value. So, there you have it. The 2016 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a rare and valuable treasure, and if you happen to come across one, you could be holding a coin worth millions. Who would have thought a small mistake at the mint could lead to such a huge payout? If you enjoyed this video and want to learn about more rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video to stay updated on the latest coin discoveries. Also, don't forget to comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're keeping your eyes peeled for a 2016 no-mint mark penny.